Hey creatives, welcome to the show. This is the first show of the series. And again, my goal is to be able to inspire, inform, and connect creatives through this platform. Well, specifically on Instagram. I don't know if these videos, at least the full format, will go out on YouTube, but I know I'll be utilizing IGTV. But mostly I'll be using a Creative Corner Instagram page or Instagram account for you guys to kind of ask questions and for us to have a back and forth with not just me, but more importantly, the guests that we have on the show. So for the pilot episode, we'll be talking to Paul Kurz Jr., aka the Fictitious Professor. In this episode, I talked to him about his work-life balance, how he's able to have multiple streams of income. And I think the coolest thing is that he's never worked a 9-to-5. He's been able just to play the piano his whole life and make a living out of that. Oh, one thing that's notable about my relationship with Paul, if it weren't for him, I'd probably still be working at the UPS down the street from my parents' house. I met Paul through the Duet Collective, shout out to them, and my cousins Daniel and Neiman. I believe for his 25th birthday, he was playing a gig and I was recording it. And I remember I had really good shots because I had more than one camera to actually cover the event. What had happened was I bought a new hard drive, and when I went to go ahead and install it to my computer, I thought what I was doing was copying and pasting from my computer's hard drive to this external hard drive. But no, I reformatted the hard drive, the new hard drive, and I incidentally reformatted one of the hard drives in my computer, thus losing the footage from Paul's birthday party gig. Yeah, that was not good. But I was able to make up for it. When I let him know what had happened, he told me I can make it up to him by going to an event and filming his god sister's training, which was down the street from our house in Walnut. And that's when I met Camille. And since then, here we are. Several cameras later, and I'm making the show. So without further ado, here's the episode with the Fictitious Professor. Okay, so welcome to a Creative Corner is not a place, but this is a show I'm making, and we talked about this over lunch. And for any viewers, if you guys hear singing in the background, that's Neiman.
Yeah, and also excuse me if I burp because
we had shawarma.
Shawarma, yeah.
But yeah, my goal for Creative Corner again is to have, I guess, a platform for other creatives like us to be able to learn from, I guess, our experiences. And a lot of people have been instrumental in me being where I'm at now. And I wish I wrote down that quote and I said it. Neiman liked it. What was it? Neiman standing off camera right now. What did I say? I said, I'm not where I want to be right now in like career or whatever, and me working creatively, but I'm also in a place where I thought I'd never be. Like I never thought I could provide for my daughter and for my wife and to move out of my parents' house in this small duck-infested apartment complex. But it's dope.
That's what we should have eaten for lunch, duck.
Duck? No, that's sad. They're all like...
But actually, when I see ducks, I get hungry.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't. I can't see a live duck, although I can see animals. What?
I like ducks.
It's fine.
I don't want to...
No, we've already disclosed that it was okay.
Okay.
And all of this is in the,
Yeah.
the pilot episode.
Sorry.
You're not sorry. Don't be sorry.
It's good. But yeah, I mean, so I'm sure I'm going to do some kind of intro with a bunch of B-roll of you playing the keys, probably at Amuse. I have that footage
nice.
of Amuse. I have, what else? I have you like setting up whenever we did Camille stuff.
Yeah.
Which is...
everything but my birthday show.
Everything but the... Hey, but that...
Hey, that was the catalyst though.
It was. I feel so bad. So for, I guess to refresh everyone's memory, Paul, we know each other because, I guess I could say my cousins, right? Mm-hmm. Through Daniel and Neiman, they're in the music circuit. And I think the first time I ever met you, like really, really met you other than seeing you on stage playing the keys, was at B-Sides.
Oh yeah, that was when we kicked
B-sides,
it
yeah.
at
It's gone.
Garden Cafe.
Garden Cafe is gone.
The other one is the one that we went to is still there.
The one we went to is still there. Okay,
like,
there's 2 locations.
Yeah, they're not. They're like 2 different restaurants that are similar named.
Mm-hmm.
One is like RH Garden Cafe, and one is just like Garden Cafe.
Okay, but
the one that we went to is still up there.
Okay, that one's still there.
The sketchy
that place
menu
that
too big.
bathroom was bajo. That means it stank. But yeah. So yeah, that's the first time though. Like where we hung out, and I remember I think the first thing I asked you was like, so other than keys, what do you do? I remember asking you at the Garden Cafe. I don't know if you remember this conversation because I knew at least Adam Bakud of Do Right. I know that he was working a 9 to 5. Almost everybody did. I know Zion worked at his family restaurant and he would DJ or produce. But you were the only one's like, nah, I just play the keys.
Yeah, full time.
Yeah. So I mean that's been instrumental for me, I guess, getting to where I'm at because like, hey, he's another guy that lived down the street. It's not that literally much. Yeah, we're pretty close in age. I'm a bit older than you, but you're able to make it happen. And something that I always boast about you when I talk to like my family and stuff. Like, yeah, well, Paul's never even had to rake leaves before. He's been able to just play the piano and make a living that way. And you got to travel the world.
Yeah.
Being, like your only source of income was through music. But it's also cool, like what we talked about over lunch with Neiman, was that's not your only stream of income. So what else do you like other than playing the piano, playing keys? What else are you doing?
Yeah, playing keys live is kind of like the major income. I do producing here and there, so that's also another semi-regular, not as regular as I want. So like producing tracks. So like if somebody has a song, I'll like create all the production for it, do basic mixing, that kind of stuff. And then I'm in the middle of creating a co-working space specifically for creative entrepreneurs. So basically, for those of you who don't know what co-working is, it's kind of like an open office plan where different startups and businesses can have an office, have a desk. There are different tiers, so you can have like your own private desk, or you can just have a desk, whatever is open. You can have your own private office. But what's going to set ours apart from the normal co-working spaces is we're going to have specific equipment for creative entrepreneurs. So like videographers, photographers, have a soundproof room to do podcasting or like tracking for music. And then also at the same time have it be an event space. And then in addition to like people just like renting it out for a show or for like a artist exhibition, we're planning on having what we're calling EXP shares. So the company is called Level Up, and our branding is all like video games. So if anybody's played Pokemon, you know what an EXP share is. So it's this little item that when your strong Pokemon, whoever's fighting, defeats another Pokemon, it shares the experience with any other Pokemon in the party. So we're kind of playing along with that. So we have creatives who are a few steps ahead of us who are within Level Up, share their experience. So like, so I've been freelancing for, or whoever we have doing the EXP share, we've freelancing 30 years or whatnot. And they'll share like, this is how you project your worth. This is how you like price. This is how you go about dealing with like seasons of being extra busy, seasons of being like nothing, like dry. How you like stay motivated, and having our like lawyer come in and be like, okay, so if somebody steals your work, this is how you take legal action. So that's sort of been the big project that I've been working on for the past few months. So
But really, it's been this year-long process. Because this is so weird because we know each other so well. But yeah, for the sake of the audience, I never wanted to talk off camera, like to the camera like this. But yeah, for the sake of the audience, what he does is this past year you've taken this course, right? And I can let you expand on that. But it was a course basically. I feel like God moved in it for you to be able to do what you've been saying over the last few months, though. So what was that course you were?
Yeah. So prior to taking the course, I'd sort of envisioned having a warehouse where just my friends and I kind of rented out and had our own studios. So then this opportunity came to take the social entrepreneurship program, And so through the program, I like fine-tuned the idea. So taking the different courses. So socially minded entrepreneurship, I thought of a nonprofit. So I was thinking about having some sort of nonprofit that helped foster kids get music lessons. Because, I've been fortunate enough to have my mom value music lessons. So I literally didn't have a choice to take piano lessons. So like from when I was 6 until high school, I didn't have a choice. And then in college, I chose to like study music. But for hearing from some people, like they wish they had music lessons or they wish they had parents push them. And then hearing, foster kids are kind of like left in the margins of society. So that sucks because they want to have music lessons, but they have no funds or they just can't.
Yeah.
So that was my initial plan. It's still on my heart, but sort of using that as the socially minded project, and then working through the program, realizing that my skill set isn't best suited to start something new like that. It was sort of always the thing behind the thing was always helping creatives.
Yeah.
So as soon as I sort of cleared away all that, so helping creatives and then like all these other layers, as soon as I cleared away all those layers and realized, I can just help creatives because it's a valid people group that needs help.
Yeah. I think, to interject, I think specifically the Filipino American community.
Yeah, not just Filipino American, but Asian Americans in general, because it's like be like a doctor, or a lawyer, or whatever. Yeah. Or be in the medical field.
Like I would say, there's only three options for Filipino kids, right? It's either a nurse, an engineer, or you're gonna be a disappointment. It's true though, that's only praise you hear. It's like, your cousin, like they're graduating from nursing school, or what's happening, or he's an architect.
Yeah,
you're
kuya, she's a nurse.
Yeah, right. As much as we make fun of that, but that's like the only.
It's true.
That's almost the only avenue that's allotted to, I guess, that we think of for our culture.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been cool, like seeing that be your pursuit to kind of break that, and which is mine too. I think what we always talk about is we try to keep our circles like this, which is why I cling to you so much, because I don't get this anywhere else. There's no outside motivator, because either one, people don't think it's a good route. They don't think that's a wise decision for me to provide for my family this way, or two, they just don't know, right?
Yeah.
So for you pursuing this goal for Level Up Co-working. So when do you think that'll be a place for someone to physically go to?
Yeah. So ideally, we'll have a physical space. We're talking right now, kind of late fall, early winter 2019. But in the meantime, starting in 2019, we're going to have pop-up work sprints. So already building that community, bringing creatives together, having creatives adopt the abundance mindset as opposed to the scarcity mindset.
Can you expand on that?
Yeah, I was about to.
We know what that means, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's another income stream is I'm working with my god sister.
Yeah.
Both AJ and I work for my god sister. She's a peak performance life coach, entrepreneurial mindset coach. And so we're around this kind of mindset language a lot. So so what scarcity and abundance mindset is adopting. So like me as a freelance keyboard player, scarcity mindset would be like, there are only very few gigs, so I'm going to take whatever gigs there are, and then I'm going to, talk down on other keyboard players in order to make myself look good and take those gigs. They're the few gigs that are out there. But adopting an abundance mindset, I would be, there are lots of gigs out there. Even if I'm not the right person for this gig, or if I'm not available, I'm going to refer somebody that I know who can do well, who's gonna be a good representation of my word. And so realizing that, there are tons of gigs out there. You just need to look and be persistent. Or even if there's a gig that is a lot of work and doesn't pay as well, scarcity mindset would have me take the gig because I don't think that another gig is going to happen. Abundance mindset will have me pass on the gig because I know my worth and it's better. Because there's like a 2/3 rule for like taking a gig. So it's the pay, the hang, the people who are involved, and then for me the music, but the content of what it is. So for you to take a gig, it has to meet at least two out of three of those criteria. So it's like scarcity mindset. It's easy to just want to take any gig, but like abundance mindset is realizing if it doesn't meet two of those three, pass on it because another opportunity is going to come.
Yep.
So yeah, so in a networking event, bringing people together, because I've interacted with a few other creatives who are kind of more, hold their cards to their chest, don't want to like share what they use, like their equipment or like editing software or whatever. But in my experience, the people who are readily available to share and who are like willing to share with other people, like, oh yeah, I use this.
Yeah.
Or like I've had experience using this, I like this because of like these reasons. Those are the people who are doing well. And you even see that at like higher levels.
Oh yeah.
With like the masterclass web series where it's like you get these people operating at the top of their game and they're basically like, yeah, this is what I do. This is what worked for me. You can try it if you want, but this is what I've been doing.
They let you get a look into what they're doing. Like we'll talk about mentors later, but a mentor of mine, we both know Mike D. He's a big proponent of the collaboration over competition, right? And I think that resonates with the Level Up's idea that this EXP share.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? So what I'm getting at is like what's so cool about that is you see these people, right? And I'm glad that that's a pursuit of your company moving forward, because you look at the successful and you look at those that give back to their communities, they do stuff like that, right? Like you said, the masterclass, but there's also on a lower level with Dacier Capital, right? They're a big real estate investment company out in LA area. Shout out to them. We work with them too. But what they do is they hold these meetups that they basically give the ins and outs. How did we find this property? How much did we invest? Where did we mess up? And even how did we sell it? And how did we find these contractors? How do you build a team that you trust? And I think that, I think having that mindset is great because it's bigger than just the money. And two, there's a humility and a comfortability in who you are, right? Because I think it's those that are, what's the word? It's those people that are just not secure in themselves, that act that way, right? That stay
kind of like overcompensate on
it's like,
for insecurities that they haven't worked through or like aren't comfortable with.
Yeah, and I dealt with that.
Yeah.
Which is
I
why
still
now,
deal with that too.
Yeah. But which is why now like I'm uber transparent now. Like where I'll talk numbers. Like other videographers will ask me, oh, how much are they, how much is this client paying you, or how much are you charging me? Do you mind? I'll always say it. Because like what I usually learn is, wow, AJ, you're charging too little.
Yeah.
And it helps me because they're confident in my work. Imagine that's another expert in the field that I'm working in, but they can say, hey, you know what? I think you could be asking for more.
Yeah.
And this and this and this is why. But you're not going to get that if you're not transparent, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So that's what I love. I'm looking forward to that for the Level Up, working how I can help out with that too, and even just to I just feel like there's always a lot for us to learn anyways, regardless what stage you're in.
Yeah, that's another mindset that's important for creatives, because I've met people who I've looked up to and like had an opportunity to talk with them. And then one of them, his name's Abraham Laboriel. He's this phenomenal bass player. He's played with anyone and everyone, like kind of like obviously older cat. But I've talked to him and he's like, because I met him because he plays bass for one of my teachers that I studied with in college. And so I'm like, oh yeah, I study with Mark. And then Abraham was like, oh yeah, I study with Mark too, because it's like they're different instruments and they're always learning new things from each other. So it's this mindset of like always learning something new, always reinventing yourself, and not necessarily staying current, because Abraham still like has his lane and he does it very well. But like learning new things and like learning new people and just like having new experiences to kind of keep the curiosity alive. Because as soon as you figure it out, that's when you're like stagnant. Yeah. That's when you're dying. If you're not growing, you're dying.
Exactly. Yeah, shout out to Camille for that too. Yeah, I learned that from her too. So we talked a lot about, I guess, the success side of your business, whether that's playing the keyboard or pursuing this project. of helping out other creatives. How about health? Because
Yeah.
dude, you've accomplished a lot in just a year. Like a year ago, you're already getting smaller, and then now, and I know for you, it's not about weight, but can we talk about that? Like how, I guess, how did a balance of mindset in career, how did a balance and mindset of your spirituality affect your health?
Yeah. So sort of as I started working more with Camille and then also doing my own self-development things. So I was watching videos and reading up on like other people, and it's all connected. So like health, business, spirituality, all that, it all affects each other. So you start, so like say your business goes up in one level and you neglect your health. There's only so much you can do because it's like, if you're not, even for like gigs. So say I have like one day a week where I do complete Sabbath. I usually won't take gigs on Mondays because like I'm working all weekend, and then Sunday I'm just like tired. So Mondays I don't want to do anything. Like I try not to even leave the house. And so having that space and having that like chance to recharge is super important, because I realized on Mondays if I had a rehearsal or a gig that I had to like work for, or like if it was a rehearsal I didn't learn any of the songs, it was always a terrible rehearsal. So I figured might as well leave that as a day to recharge. And if I, even now, if I take a gig on Mondays and if I don't have another day where I have space to recharge, it's like a shitty week for me, because it's like I don't have that time to reset, reflect. So it's like I've noticed people who, you know, no days off. The phrase "no days off" makes me feel so tired, because I'm like, maybe like one day off a week, or like
at least
one, like maybe a week every like 3 to 4 months, because all those people like no days off, always working, they get burned out. Not all the time, like super quickly, but eventually they get burned out and then end up becoming jaded in whatever industry they're working in.
I think someone that we can all think, at least first person in mind is no days off, was Gary Vaynerchuk. Right? It's a very big influencer in at least our culture, our age group right now. And you see it, like he's no days off, and he's very transparent with, well, I sacrifice my time with my family. And that's not cool too.
Yeah, that's not good.
So I mean, there's a give and take in all of it, but a balance, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, just like balancing that kind of stuff, and then also realizing, like I'm 27, so a couple of years ago, not being on my parents' health insurance, and so just having like Cover California, the free health insurance, and then realizing if I need to go to the doctor, there's a bunch of hoops to jump through. So wanting to also be healthy, just, you know, exercising, eating well, just like making sure my body's doing its job, and so raising that level of self-health too. So yeah, if you just like realize that everything's interconnected, then it's kind of a no-brainer to level up everything. Kind of at the same time.
So I guess now I'd like to transition to who are your mentors on like any level? Like, and we learn from Camille, it doesn't need to be someone you interact with in person, but I mean in all aspects of your life. Who do you think your three top mentors or people that influence you the most?
Oh man, that's tough. I know one of them is, I know Camille for sure, because it's like she's my ate, she's my god sister, she's a boss technically now, but it's also that she has that kind of trust in knowing that I'm going to do good work, and that support where she, because like her coaching is like very, very expensive. Like there's no way I could afford that now. But still having that access to her, and she like still, you know, chooses to make time for me, even if I have like a random meltdown of like, oh, this thing's happening, what do I do? And then like schedule a time to like just talk it out with her. That's been immensely beneficial. And just kind of like the things from osmosis, and like the things she talks about, and then seeing different patterns that she is aware of, and then seeing that in people I interact with, and then realizing like, oh, okay, kind of getting a better intuition of other people. So like trusting my gut, and like, oh, this person's a weird vibe, so I'm not gonna not talk to that person, but I'm not gonna bank on a solid relationship with this person, as opposed to somebody who I'm friends with first, and then if we end up working, then cool. If not, then it'll just be like a cool friendship relationship. Yeah. So she's one. Another one would be Rob Bell.
Okay.
So he's been a big influence spiritually and then also creatively too, because he's very transparent about his workflow, and he's also one of the people that influenced me to take Sabbath on Monday, because he does like a full Sabbath. He does like sundown to sunup. And so like sundown, he unplugs all his electronic devices, stays present in the moment, spends time with his family. They go and do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
Just enjoy, take a moment to enjoy life. He says, a time to be reminded that you're a human being and not a human doing. Because like he always talks about how he got super burned out a few years ago just by running a mega church and just like never really taking a day off. And so completely changing and shifting and speaking and writing full time, and kind of like creating his own lane with like speaking tours, because nobody really kind of does that.
Yeah.
So yeah, with that, and then also just kind of, because like I grew up Christian, and so taking all these stories and then shifting them over kind of slightly for a different viewpoint that's kind of enriched me spiritually, and to realize that everything is kind of connected, everything's spiritual. There's no necessarily like sacred and like not sacred. It's all sacred. It's all like, it's all connected. Everything is everything. For me, God is kind of like the Force from Star Wars. It's like the energy that's in between all living and non-living things. It's the source of like life itself. So there was kind of like a big influence on continuing to develop my faith.
Okay. And then so do you have a fitness or someone that you looked? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I just assume so. Like I'm not in shape now, but when I was, it wasn't necessarily like a body type, but it was different skaters or an athlete, where you kind of find the regiment. Did you have anything like that?
Sort of, kind of like, not to the same level of...
I knew you talked a lot about, like, maybe it's not specific people, but it was like, you studied a lot about different diets. And it, not even for the fat of it, like you tried, I remember you trying to figure out like, were fats like really bad and things like that. So what was that like? Because that was a big part of your journey, from what I remember.
Like, what's his name? Tim Ferriss.
Okay.
Because he's kind of like, he's done all these tests, like he's done all these self-tests on himself, like whether it be a ketogenic diet or straight up fasting, or like just like other, like if it's a thing that somebody does at a high level, like he's tried it. So he's kind of like, not like the archetype that I'm trying to emulate, but kind of similar, where it's like he's figuring out things that work for his body. So I'm trying to figure out things that work for my body and my schedule and everything. So like kind of his diet was, because he has a book called 4 Hour Body. So he has this specific diet that's in it. So basically it's like, what I sort of kind of picked and chose from it was, up until that point I was doing intermittent fasting and kind of like sort of a ketogenic diet. And so from Tim's diet, it was like a no carbs, 6 days a week, and then on the 7th day is kind of like a binge day. So I was doing that. And so sort of like there's science to like spiking your insulin. So the day after you binge, you might go up like a few pounds, but 2 to 3 days later you'll dip below where you started before. So there's like science to insulin.
Are you still doing that?
No, I haven't.
No. Okay.
I'm gonna restart it again in January.
Okay.
But
so
stuff like that.
Well, at least from what I saw, like when we first met, how much did you weigh at your heaviest?
At my heaviest,
Yeah.
I was 260.
260.
When we met, I think I was like floating around 200.
Okay. So yeah, you're already getting smaller, but you kept shrinking. And what was cool, why I bring that up is because I saw like a drop in you looking physically better. Like you're playing these like crazier gigs. Last New Year's you were at the Playboy Mansion?
Yeah. No, I wasn't at the Playboy
Was
Mansion.
it?
I wish it was at the Playboy Mansion.
No, what was it?
It was for Playboy.
Okay.
At a restaurant, or at a hotel like lobby.
And
yeah, it was like super random.
Yeah,
it was fun.
and then you got the residency at Simple Bar, right, this year. So what's that like? Could you talk about that and like what guys are involved there?
Yeah, Simple Bar. it's called the Gray Noise Project. I'm not super
Yeah.
up like know what they're doing because I'm still kind of a hired gun.
Mm-hmm.
And before I sort of like invest into the thing, I'm still letting them figure out what they want, the branding and like the vibe to
Yeah.
be. Because it's one every second Tuesday of the month, and it's kind of like a showcase. The intention is like up and coming artists. It's put on by Vince the barber. He's like a celebrity barber, and then Prince or DJ Royal.
DJ Royal one, yeah.
So the two of them had this idea to put on a showcase, and so like from month to month, it's like I don't know what.
But I mean, you guys get like whether it's YouTube celebrity, Instagram celebrities, or some
like, people would like.
So what like artists have come through though?
Yeah, AJ Raphael. What's his name? Keenan.
Kel Mitchell.
Kel Mitchell.
Kel Mitchell. That was this past week.
Yeah, Kel Mitchell this past Tuesday. And then Tank was there. They're just like chilling. So it was like what? Yeah, this guy, he's friends with Prince and Vince.
Mm-hmm.
His name's August. But he's like ghostwritten for like a bunch of like 90s stars. So that's kind of like where his claim to fame is. But he's also like a great artist in his own right.
Mm-hmm.
So like he rolls through every once in a while. It's always a good time. It's good vibes. Trying to think of anybody else like super noteworthy has rolled through, but
well, I mean, just being able to do that, because I think when we first, you'd have some here or there. I think you were doing more weddings before than this year.
This year I barely did any weddings,
which is cool because you got to do some cool stuff with. At least it's more tailored to, like, I know that you gig with some of our friends like Twitch. Felipe is there with you.
Yeah,
and then I think you're doing less and less like church gigs, or at least like you're starting to see.
I'm doing less. Yeah, weddings, corporate events. I do them from time to time. At least the kind of I was doing like the cocktails fine, but I was doing more like after dinner dancing type sets, which is fine too. But it's like you're just playing cover songs for 3 hours, and it's like at this point it's like no brainer. It's kind of it's like a day job.
Yeah.
But it's not what I want to be doing.
So,
like I don't mind doing it.
Yeah.
But to rely on that, no.
So, I guess because earlier we talked about the abundance and scarcity mindset. Did that play a role in how you're booking gigs this year? Even subconsciously, like I don't know.
It might subconsciously maybe, but it just sort of that's how things happened.
Yeah.
And then like this past summer was like super dead. To the point.
You played the Was it a K-pop con or something like that?
I played K-Con, but that was in the spring, which that was a lot of fun too.
Yeah, see, like stuff like that.
Super random. Yeah. But like the summer was dead, so but it kind of gave me a chance to work on the level up idea.
Okay.
So, at this point in my career, I'm realizing that early winter and the middle of summer are my least busy times. So I should have known that summer was not going to be busy. And like I should have planned for that. So next year I'm gonna plan to like either because I like traveling, so like I'm probably gonna plan to travel and do something fun when I don't have gigs, and so and then in the early winter planning retreats and like figuring out what I'm gonna do for all of 2019 at least. So that's another important thing for creatives is to like observe and notice that there's going to be a flow. So it's like busy, not busy, not busy. And then when you're not busy, figuring out something something to do so you won't go in like a depressive spiral.
Yeah.
Because I was sort of like depressed a little bit because like I'm not gigging. And so like I don't want to go out and like hang out with friends because we go out and hang out with friends, kind of spend money.
Yeah. So
staying at home and just like not spending money, but then also being at home. And then sulking about not having gigs.
Yeah, it's this cycle.
It's a very bad cycle.
So I mean,
I wouldn't recommend it.
So what are your ways out of that? Because I know, if I can be transparent about you a little bit, that's been something that you go through here or there, and I think you're able to pinpoint it. It's at this time and this time because of that situation.
Yeah.
How do you attack that? And I guess I'm trying to manipulate you into
Yeah.
talking about self-retreats.
Yeah. Yeah, just like yeah, I should have gone on a self retreat in the summer when I was not busy. But yeah, that's kind of something that's I've taken from Camille, and also have been encouraging all my friends and creatives like, hey, go on a self retreat. And so far, only one friend has actually gone on a self retreat. But like the feedback that I got from
Yeah.
them, they're like, oh, this was amazing. I'm gonna do this every year.
So in a sentence, what is a self-retreat?
So is it time to? I can't even. I don't think I can do that
In one
sentence.
sense, or I guess
In a
a
brief
synopsis.
Yeah, briefly, it's a time for you to go and be by yourself and reflect on the past and plan for the future. So, because it's like for if you plan for the year, say when I plan for 2019, I'm gonna write down goals, and so most of the time, like I may not reach any of those goals, but looking back, you'll realize, oh, this is groundwork, or some of those goals actually got reached. Because like you can even like put out a crazy goal, and then you'll get pretty close just from the fact that you physically wrote it down, and we're already kind of thinking about it. Yeah, I recommend it to like everybody and anybody, like a solo retreat by yourself. And then a retreat with your spouse, significant other is also important too.
Or business partners.
Yeah, business
right?
partners
I think that's
too.
important too. Because I know we do that as a company for The Ultimate Life, where we'll even talk to each other about like, what's your financial goal for this year? What's a health goal for this year? What is your, what's the word that you're going to live by this year? You know?
The theme for the year.
Yeah, the theme for the year. I know that mine was efficiency was my word for 2018. I think I got there like maybe I haven't been able to build out my system yet, but I know what questions to ask now. So whether it's meeting guys like at a Muse, I can't even forgot his name. One of your homies that he works for.
Oh, Jerome.
Yeah, Jerome. I feel bad if Jerome sees this. Okay, yeah, you know, a blessing like that. Like I knew, and then because he works for a company that does data storage, and for me, a big system that I need to work around being a videographer is saving all of this data. I have like a mass amount of data that I need to manage, and it's only getting worse and worse, like literally by the day.
Yeah.
And this doesn't help it. But yeah, I mean, just being able to find those systems now is a big help. So I mean, like, yeah, having that scarcity and abundance mindset, instead of getting stuck in like, oh, I'm in a rut right now, or I'm in a situation that sucks. Like a self-retreat is great to be able to reflect on it and kind of find ways like, okay, this went good though this year, or this went good in 6 months, or however often you want to do it.
Yeah. For the retreats, it's like a good to have, beginning of the year and then like 6 months in. So in like the retreat, you want to begin with the end in mind. So it's like, what do you want to accomplish over the year? So say like January, you go on the retreat, and then in June go on like a kind of like a checkup. So it's like relook at your goals and see how like close you're getting or how far you're straying away. So then you kind of like come back to center. So because like last year I actually went on like my first kind of self retreat in the summer. Yeah. So I should have done that again this past year. But now I know for 2019.
Yeah. Now you have your whole system set up. I guess I wanted to do something. I don't know if I should. It doesn't, like, it feels random now. Yeah, I was, there's something I was going to rip straight from Hot Ones. Was where I pull up your, I don't even know what IG to pull. I'm going to pull up your personal one. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up a random picture.
Oh, man.
And ask you to expand on it.
I've actually always wanted to do something like this. That's why I just leave everything up online.
What is this? So I'm going to blow it up on the footage, but it's a drawing of, it looks like it's you, bro. This is February 19, 2017, not that long ago. So can you talk to me about that picture?
I was at the college that I went to, and then it was for a friend's senior recital. And so another friend who was also in the senior recital just decided to draw me. And so that's what they drew.
It's during, like
It
when
was
you guys
during
are
a
all there.
it was during a rehearsal.
Okay, rehearsal. Okay,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
imagine you guys just chilling there.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what that is.
That's what that is. Okay.
Yeah, people draw me from time to time, and I'll usually take a picture and post it. So there's actually like a few pictures of me throughout the years on my Instagram.
Oh, I think this is one of my favorite things. Footage of you sumo wrestling in Japan, bro.
Yeah.
No, I mean, as funny as this is, dude, you went to Japan by yourself.
Yeah. That was my first international trip by myself
Mm-hmm.
in a country that English isn't the dominant language.
Can you talk about like, how did that affect you to do that? Like,
Yeah, it was a lot still like on the, finding myself, self-development. And so that was one of my goals in 2018 was to go to like travel by myself. I already knew I was going to go to Japan. So travel to Japan, do everything by myself. So I was in Japan for 2 weeks and I was just like trying to figure out what to do. And then I saw on like some online booking thing where it was like, you can have a sumo lunch and then like fight a sumo wrestler. So I was like, yes, I want to fight a sumo wrestler. And like, even when I was there, they were doing the demonstration. I was like, these like you see, like obviously online or like on TV or whatever, they're huge, but like to actually be in the presence of one,
Yeah.
it's like these guys are huge.
and they're actually strong, right?
Yeah,
like,
they're
they're
strong.
just not fat guys. They're fit.
Yeah, they're like fit and like super limber. Like they can still do like those guys are retired, but they can still do splits, like full on splits and like lay down. Like they're as limber as like acrobats.
That's insane
But yeah.
for their frame to be able to carry that.
Yeah. And then actually the one that I fought, he was in a few like television commercials. So like he still maintains his size so that he can be like an actor.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he was like on a truck commercial where he like wrestles a pickup truck. But yeah. Yeah, like traveling by yourself, especially like in a foreign country, it like for me being an introvert, it was kind of freeing because it's like I don't have to rely on somebody else or wait for somebody else. Like if I want to go and like see something, I don't have to worry about does the person who I'm traveling with wanted to see that, or like if I want to still like hang out in a coffee shop for like 2 hours, I can just go and hang out in a coffee shop for 2 hours. But you also like learn a lot about yourself, and because it seems intimidating because not a lot of people speak English, or at least speak English well or are confident enough in their English in Japan. But you sort of learn that like, oh yeah, people are friendly, and it was also a big influence, kind of like culture, like to be in a different culture, and also like music wise, fashion wise, and then also like just kind of I've always been curious about Japanese culture and been influenced by a lot of Japanese cultural things. So it's cool to actually be in Japan and seeing everything on a grand scale, and then seeing kind of like origins of different things. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh, this is cool.
And then you got
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
How was?
Yeah.
Dude, I'd be so scared if I was like sick like that, and I'm just like, you're just staying in a hostel.
Yeah. I was I was like weird. I got this weird travel bug kind of like the last week I was there.
Yeah.
So there was one morning I legit woke up and I couldn't even get to the bathroom because I was so like dizzy for whatever reason. Dude, I was like brushing, like I kind of like crawled. Like I tried to walk to the bathroom. I like fell and stumbled. Like I have no idea how or why nobody else, because it was like cubicle style rooms. Like nobody peeked out or like looked or like.
No one's even checking it,
Or
or
I was
like
pretty
just-
sure it was like loud.
Yeah.
Because then also I was in the bathroom trying to brush my teeth and just like falling and hitting everything. Dude, it was bad. I was like, what? But somehow I like was able to gather myself together and then get to the bus station where the tour was. It was weird.
Dude.
But yeah, it was like scary and intimidating, but I'm fine now.
Yeah, and you're still. I know
Yeah.
you're still gonna do it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you experienced that. I guess last two things that I'm always gonna end. I don't even know how long we went for. I have no idea how long we went for, dude. But I feel like it's a good time. What are your 3 goals for 2019?
Yeah, one of them for sure to get Level up and running. Because my business partners and I are gonna meet soon to plan because we planned kind of like 5 year, 3 year, 1 year,
Mm-hmm.
6 months. But we're gonna meet up to talk about the next 3 months, and then from there figure out how the rest of the year is gonna look. But I've sort of been putting on like my own stuff on hold, not like fully on hold,
Yeah.
but I want to focus mostly on Level Up because I know once Level Up is up and running, then it's going to be a good platform for me
Yeah.
to like do more Fictitious Professor stuff,
Mhm.
do more videos, create more content, and have it all circle back to Level Up to kind of
Yeah.
build that brand.
Because now there's a purpose for, like, you can always promote for Level Up also, or Level Up can promote you
yeah,
as well.
exactly.
So
So that's probably the biggest goal. Another one is still because I wanted to travel once a quarter, and so I did. I was able to accomplish that. Like travel, not necessarily internationally, but also domestically too within the U.S. So I want to keep that. So travel somewhere once a quarter, and so far it looks like that's kind of going to be the theme too.
Awesome.
And then I think third goal would be to be playing more gigs that I want to be playing. Because also like realizing with Level Up, it's like talking with my business partners and then also like being myself more.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I wasn't myself, but like realizing, oh yeah, this is what I like, as opposed to kind of bending towards like I say for music. So there's like the whole LA scene. It's never been like my scene because to me it seems a little bit like superficial.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not necessarily drawn towards those like LA types where it's like, oh yeah, here's my card, let's jam, let's like collaborate or whatever, knowing that they don't give a shit about me.
Yeah.
But rather connecting and working with people who actually genuinely care about me as a person and human being, and who like want to see me succeed. And like obviously not obviously, but I like to see everybody succeed. Like even those like LA types, I want to see them succeed, but like I know that's kind
That's
of
just
not the way to do it.
Yeah. That's not your lane either.
So like working more with the people I resonate more to have that be a bigger source of income, because like money is secondary, but obviously
it's important.
It's important. I need to like pay bills and whatnot. So that's probably like another thing where it's like another goal where I want to be doing more gigs with people that I resonate with, and then having all of us, you know, level up together.
Yeah. And then the last thing before we close is advice for creatives that are, for whatever reason, if they're scared to do what you're doing, were you able to just use your passion?
Dude, I think the biggest thing I would tell creatives is just don't be ashamed of yourself or of your hustle, because that's kind of a thing. Especially like I've noticed in Asian American culture, shame is kind of a really big thing, where it's like, if like it's kind of a weird manipulation strategy that kind of I'm sure like our parents have done, but like I've been more aware of it now, where it's like even like, oh, so and so is a nurse, you should be a nurse too. Like you're not doing like, you know, the status quo like we talked about.
Yeah.
So, you know, shamelessly being yourself as a creative, and then also shamelessly telling your story, and then realizing that your story is important and it matters. And like even if you think it doesn't, it does. Because like I'm sort of, you know, like speaking to myself too, because it's like sometimes I don't think, especially like in the current socio-political climate, where like I think other people's stories are more, you know, this is the time for other people's stories, not myself. But I've always, feedback I've gotten from other people who are like, no, your story still matters, because like me being like half Filipino, half Jewish, being a creative, never having a like 9 to 5, it's important for other people to be hearing that, and to like, oh, this is somebody that somebody who's like me or similar to me. Because even realizing growing up, there aren't many like half like mixed race people on like TV or like, in music or whatever. It's like few and far between. Because also kind of playing to, or being what I wanted to see growing up. So it's like I wish I saw somebody who was like half Asian on TV.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so like, oh, I could be that for like some kid too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, don't be ashamed, kids.
All right, man.
Yeah, own yourself. Be always working towards being confident and then coming from a place of confidence, because there's a element of like adopting like faking confidence to an extent, but it's only as a way to like get up to that level as opposed to like overcompensating.
Yeah. I think there's a book, something like that.
Yeah. Hopefully that last part wasn't too like insider language. But
No,
like,
I think that makes sense. Like, was it Steal Like an Artist?
oh yeah.
Something like that, right? That's a lot of the spirit of that book. It's almost like, the fake it till you make it type of thing.
Yeah.
But it's not fake to steal, like, and to, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just
like,
to gain that, but it's
yeah.
to get to where I've experienced that in my own.
knowing your influences.
Dude, I had to take pictures of a Illmind producer. That's the first gig I've ever gotten to be a videographer through Nick Piccoli. And I was just using a little point and shoot camera to film video, and he hands me this like expensive DSLR, and I've never taken photos in my life. So I'm like messing with the settings. But yeah, I mean, long story short, just fake it till you make it in that aspect.
Yeah.
But you're not like just faking it to be cool, not faking it to like to make much of yourself that way. But hey, really learn it then,
Yeah, to not in going in line with not being ashamed. It's like owning yourself for yourself, not for other people.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. Yeah, owning yourself for yourself, not for others.
Because it's so easy, like you want to like flex on people on Instagram because it's like that's the culture.
Yeah.
But it's like if you keep doing that just for the flex, then you'll realize it's very unfulfilling.
Yeah. You're never gonna fulfill yourself because not everyone's gonna be co-signing you 100% anyways.
Yeah, but it's like if you're like a flex every now and then is fine because it's like you deserve to feel pretty every once in a while. But it's like if you're coming from a place of confidence and like I like this because of this, or like I'm doing this because I chose to do this, then that's like a commendable flex in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's healthy. All right, man. Is there anything else, or where can we find you? Even though I think a lot of my audience might be your audience and figuring out who that guy am. But where can we find you? I know we have the Syllabus EP that's been out.
Yeah.
That's your personal project.
Yeah. So Fictitious Professor. That's gonna be like the artist. That's my artist and stage name. So that's where most of my not hired gun stuff is gonna be.
Yeah.
So yeah, just fictitiousprofessor.com. The EP is on any streaming site that you want. So just Google me.
We have that. They can catch you at the Simple Bar. How often?
Yeah, every second Tuesday, but they're gonna.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll
for
see.
now. I mean, for now, it's like that.
Yeah. We don't even know if next month we're gonna have it. So because they need to do planning themselves, but.
And then I think the big thing is follow this guy as well as our friends Chris and Chris.
Oh yeah, Level Up Cowork and Studios.
Yeah, keep an eye out for that, especially for
our Instagram Level Up Cowork.
Yeah, especially for creatives. I think I'm excited for this.
Even if you're not in Southern California, it'll be beneficial for you to follow us because we'll have like membership, and within our like lowest tier of membership, you can chime in on our XP shares. You could even participate in our like work sprints from your own home if you wanted to, just to like know that there's these people somewhere that they're working on a project. But
all right, thanks a lot, bro. This was fun. This wasn't as like I was so nervous.
I mean
it's good, dude.
It's good that you're starting with homies.
Thank you for watching this episode of A Creative Corner. If you found any value today, please like this video, subscribe, and more importantly, join the ACC community on Instagram. That's at A Creative Corner. And that's corner without the vowels and no spacing between the words. So thank you again, and here's what's happening on the next episode.
Well, the whole show people were singing. And like like from all the shows, like nobody ever like
it's just
people
us.
sing.
Like maybe it's our family.
Yeah, but then this one was like I stopped singing and it was just like, especially on Why Do I Still?
Yeah,
like,
there's
crazy.
people in the front row that wasn't like our cousins.
Yeah,
like
this
our family was like stuck in the back. Your mom was stuck on the wall somewhere.
This is the first time where it was like fans outweighed like the friends and family, and it's usually like all friends and family and like some fans, but this was the first time like the whole section was like fans, and I was like I remember like looking into that area, I was like. I don't know any of you, and that's awesome. Like, and they're like singing every word, and it's just cool, man. Like, just like we went from like this warehouse, you know, to like the Constellation Room, you know.